be going over securing data in cloud environments for my project. Cloud infrastructures. So infrastructures are cost effective for businesses wanting to store large amounts of data that don't want to host on-site servers. And the global scalability for this is massive because it's no on-site storage. Main concern in keeping the cloud infrastructures safe and secure, identifying the risks and threats, and then I like to think about it as thinking inward and then moving out, as a little thing I like to do. Identifying key risks. So a main thing would be if there's no data encryption on the data at rest and the data in transit, that's a big red flag. Defensive systems not set up correctly, whether that be a firewall or intrusion detection system or a SIEM tool. Lack of verification or multi-factor authentication. These are necessary systems that should be in place to keep data secure. Another thing to look at for a risk would be employees, rogue employees specifically, if they have certain passwords or keys for the data at rest and data in transit. They could be a risk to the company, leaking a lot of important data. Fines and fees. So if your company does not comply with GDPR, which is the General Data Prevention Regulation, and California Consumer Privacy Act, which is CCPA, you will be subpoenaed and asked to give over fines, and if you are not to pay those fines, you will be fined even more. So yeah, it's a big risk to your company not securing your data. So this is a real world incident that happened in 2019. Capital One, their systems were breached by hackers. This was due to, like I said before, misconfigured defensive system. In this case, it had just so happened to be a firewall that was misconfigured, and the attackers were able to decrypt the encrypted storage files and take lots of personal data, including credit card information and social security card numbers from Capital One or customers. Capital One is hit with heavy fines. This is because of all of their customer data being leaked. That's under, like I said before, the GDPR and CCPA. They're regulated to pay those fines. Security measures. So encryption, like I said, encryption on data at rest and in transit. I have a little diagram in the bottom left explaining that a little bit more too. In cloud infrastructure, I would implement zero trust. This just basically meaning if you don't have the correct passwords, the correct logins, you're not trusted to access the system. Multi-factor authentication, this goes along with zero trust again. This is just whether it be a text message to your phone or an email that's sent to you to verify you're the correct individual to be logging into a company system. A SIEM tool, security information and event management tools are needed to keep data secure. Data loss prevention systems, this will also alert This will alert management that the data is being tampered with. More security solutions, regular company security team audits. As you can see in the bottom left diagram that I have, it could be many different kinds of audits. It could be whether it be a penetration test, risk assessment, social engineering audit, a configuration audit, vulnerability assessment, or a compliance audit. Separation of company networks, network segmentation. I have a little diagram in the top right going over this as well. So this is basically just separating networks so that way it makes it harder for intruders to steal data, steal private data, that'd be from the cloud infrastructure. And just going over that a little bit, that as you can see, the guest Wi-Fi, that's separated from the main network Wi-Fi, as well as having a different network for the IoT devices and PCIs. This just separating everything makes it so that way when an intruder is looking to steal data from your cloud infrastructure, that it makes it very hard. Intrusion prevention and detection systems. This alerts management, and it tells them, hey, we have somebody knocking at our door that's trying to get in that shouldn't be here. So another real world example, this is actually a experience that I had myself. This past summer, CDK Global, which is a large-scale car dealership application, they experienced a major outage due to hackers infiltrating their poorly secured cloud infrastructure. This just basically goes over why you should secure your cloud infrastructure, because this incident in particular, their systems were shut down for about 2 weeks, and at first I was told when I was working at the dealership that the ransom was about 8 million in crypto, but it turns out it's about 10 million in crypto. And so yeah, like I said, systems were isolated in reaction. About 2 weeks they were not able to sell any cars, leaving I think it says at the top 15,000 dealerships across the East Coast. I want to say that they're mainly on the East Coast, leaving them unable to sell cars for 2 weeks. This is not good at all, leaving many businesses scrambling to figure out what they're gonna do. CDK eventually got their data back, but with a hefty cost. So this basically just shows if the right security systems are in place, there wouldn't be a need to pay this $8 to $10 million, whatever the ransom was. There wouldn't be a need to if the right systems were in place. Challenges securing cloud data. Companies with multiple cloud storage infrastructures may struggle. This just basically meaning if a company is storing their data in multiple different cloud storage infrastructures, they may find it hard to find certain items, and they may lose certain data. It may be a hassle for them as well, and it may also divide the security systems, making them less effective in the long run, because they're not all in one place. But cloud security systems must comply with GDPR and CCPA. Like I said earlier, GDPR being the General Data Protection Regulation, and the California Consumer Privacy Act being CCPA. These are acts and regulations that every company online storing data has to follow or comply under. Otherwise, they will be fined enormously. Infrastructure needs to be cost effective for company to maintain. Um, so if the cloud infrastructure is way too big and way too expensive, if it's a third party cloud infrastructure the company is paying, if it's way too expensive for them to rent or own, then and it's costing them too much that they can't implement security systems, then um, it may be assigned to uh, invest in a different infrastructure that is cost effective for the business. So a little summary: cloud data consists of many steps, including encryption, data monitoring, and multi-factor authentication. Organizations using cloud infrastructure to store data need to constantly update security systems. And these are my references. And yeah.